What is up, book nerds? My name is Hillary, and welcome back to my channel. Now, I know it has been a while since I've posted on here, and let me say, I've just had a heck of a month, just being busy with my kids, and school's about to let out, and just dealing with some mental health problems, but I am good now. I am ready to start filming again. And my first video since I've been back, I decided to do a bookshelf tour. I recently went through my bookshelves, got rid of some books, reorganized them, and I'm ready to take you guys with me. So grab a drink and grab a snack because this is going to be a long video. Alright, so here is my first bookshelf. Excuse the mess right over here. Those are the books that I'm getting rid of. And then some stuff I have to send back to the virtual school that my kids are a part of. But let's get right on into it. We're going to start with this top shelf right here. Alright, so this top shelf on my bookshelf is all of my Book of the Month books that I have gotten in the past year and a half from them. So let's just get started. I'm going to pull each one out and show you. The Heart Principle by Helen Huang. The Girl with Stars in Her Eyes. The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. True Biz by Sarah Novick. I am really excited to read this one because of the summary of it. Just makes it sound so good. Head Over Heels by Hannah Orenstein. The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. Like a Sister by Kelly Garrett. One of my most recent 5-star reads that I absolutely loved. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. The first V.E. Schwab book that I ever read, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. The Night Swim by Megan Golden. Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. A Good Marriage by Kimberly McCrate. You Are Not Alone by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I am very iffy on reading this because I read another book by them and it wasn't my favorite, but I'm willing to give them one more try, so I'm going to probably pick this one up more towards October. Long Bright River by Liz Moore. The Girl in the Mirror by Rose Carlisle. The Shadows by Alex North. Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I enjoyed this book. This was my first Riley Sager book I ever read, and I absolutely loved it. Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ning. The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. The Guest List by Lucy Foley. There are a lot of mixed reviews on this book, but when I read it, I enjoyed it, and I loved all the different perspectives in the book. The twist at the end really did shock me. I did not see that coming, but yeah, I really enjoyed this book and cannot wait to read her other books that I have. Circe by Madeline Miller. That I am so excited to get the sequel to is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I really love this book. At first I was a little iffy about it because it was a little slow at the beginning, but as the book went on, I really enjoyed it and can't wait to read the second one and see what happens. How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days. The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. And Happy and You Know It by Laura Hankin. Now we are moving on to my second shelf of this bookshelf. And I will do the same thing that I did up top and tell you which books I loved and which ones I read and go from there. I have this little saying, normality is a paved road. It's comfortable to walk, but no flowers grow. The first book is Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. Love this book and the movie is so good. 8 Perfect Hours by Leah Lois. The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I love this book and I thought the movie was great too and would recommend it to anybody looking for that hard-hitting book for a YA. Then his next 3 are a trilogy, and they are To All the Boys I Loved Before, P.S. I Still Love You, and Always and Forever, Laura Jean, all by Jenny Han. I really enjoyed these books. I listened to them on audiobook, and I think the movies are so cute. I know a lot of people will be like, well, won't that bug you that the first book isn't the same as the second 2 books covers? And no, that doesn't really bug me because I have the books and I don't really, I'm not going to showcase them on my bookshelf, so it doesn't really bug me that much. And then we have 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott with Mika Daltrey and Tobias Iaconis. I enjoyed this book. The movie, the beginning and middle were really good, but the ending is what made me so mad, and I will never watch that movie again, but I would reread the book. Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. Love this book. Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. Ice Planet Barbarians and Barbarian Alien, both by Ruby Dixon, all part of a series together. The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. Royal Holiday by Jasmine Gilroy. Izzy and Tristan by Shannon Dunlap. Fall Into Me by Mila Gray. The Temptress by Jude Devereaux. Stolen Obsession by Marlene M. Bell. Frankly in Love by David Yoon. Hunted by Karen Roberts. Beach Read by Emily Henry. Now, I'm in the minority who absolutely love this book, and I really did think it was better than People We Meet on Vacation. I just love the aspect of them both being writers and having to live next door and them kind of being enemies to lovers. 1+1 and The Last Letter from Your Lover, both by Jojo Moyes. The New Girl and the Obsession, both by Jessie Q. Suntanto. On the Come Up and The Hate You Give, both by Angie Thomas. I read The Hate You Give and gave it 5 stars. Loved it, and I'm so excited to read Concrete Rose. Most likely going to listen to it on audio, but I have not yet gotten to On the Come Up, but hopefully that is my goal for this year, to get to at least that book. What Alice Forgot by Leanne Moriarty. Room by Emma Donahue. Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alir Sanez. I don't have a cover for this book, but this is Wonder by R.J. Palacio. In Every Generation by Kendare Blake. On this shelf is just more of mass market paperbacks, and a lot of these are by the same author, and this is just the place that they were able to fit. And I'm actually not going to show you all these books. I just have a lot of Jude Devereaux books. I have Well Met by Jen DeLuca, The Hypnotist Love Story by Leanne Moriarty, and After You, Me Before You, and Still Me, the trilogy by Jojo Moyes. Alright, and then down here, I just have a lot of my Nicholas Sparks books and some other romance books, but I wanted to show you this little cute flower that my daughter got me, and I think it's so pretty because I love Beauty and the Beast, and that's what it reminds me of. So this first section I'm going to show you are all by Nicholas Sparks, but I will show you all the books that I have by him. 3 Weeks with My Brother, A Bend in the Road, At First Sight, See Me, Safe Haven, The Notebook, one that doesn't have a cover on it, which is True Believer, The Longest Ride, The Best of Me, another one without the cover, and that is The Choice, Every Breath, A Walk to Remember, Dear John, The Wedding, The Rescue, The Last Song, The Lucky One, The Guardian, Nights in Rodanthe, and Message in a Bottle. The Dark Intercept by Julia Keller. Rosy Colored Glasses by Brianna Wolfson. American Royals by Catherine McGee. All This Time by Nikki Daughtry and Rachel Lippincott. This is by the same author of 5 Feet Apart. Chemical Hearts by Crystal Sutherland. Happy Ever After Playlist by Abby Jimenez. The Boy Next Door by Katie Van Ark. These next two I just read last month and absolutely love them. And they are Neon Gods and Electric Idol, both by Katie Robert. November 9th by Colleen Hoover. This book was so good. I understand the hype around Colleen Hoover. Every book that I've read by her has either been a 4 or 5 star. And I'm excited to read her backlist books and see how much she has changed over the years and what I think about all those. The Deal by Elle Kennedy. This is the first book in the Off-Campus series. And this one I've seen on Book Talk a lot. And so I was like, why not just give it a chance? And it turned out I really enjoyed it. And I want to get the rest of the series in this for these books because I want the whole collection now. And then I want the, what is it, Briar U series also. Salvage by Alexandra Duncan. Now this next shelf are just books that ended up fitting here. So these ones I'm not going to try and stand up because a lot of them won't fit in between the shelves. So I will go through them for you. I have If You Believe by Kristen Hanna. Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. Can you tell me if I should read that? Because I don't hear much about it, but I am interested in reading the series. I have not seen the show though. So let me know in the comments. The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Lovely War by Julie Berry. Peculiar Ground by Lucy Hughes Howlett. And one of my favorite books from last year, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. My Plain Jane and My Calamity Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. These are part of the My Lady Jane series. Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. They Went Left by Monica Hess. The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. Crossing Ebenezer Creek by Tanya Bolden. Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Groudon. Goodnight from London by Jennifer Robson. And then right here we have some graphic novels, and I have Heartstopper volumes 1 and 2. I read 1 and absolutely loved it and cannot wait to get to 2. And then I have I Survived the Nazi Invasion in 1944 and Mouse volume 1. I have 2 mangas right here, Spy Family 1 and 2. I am very excited to get to these because I have heard that they are really funny, and there are so many in this series, so I really want to get to them. And then we have Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. And Warcross by Marie Lu. I really enjoyed this book when I read it, and I want to do a reread of it sometime soon, and reread her Legend series too. Alright, this is the second to the bottom shelf on my bookshelf, and these are all Book of the Month books also. The Book of Longings by Sue Monk Kidd. The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This one, like I said, I liked it less than Beach Read. It was just kind of got boring in the middle of it. No Exit by Taylor Adams. I absolutely love this book. It kind of terrified me. And the movie was so good. I did do a video of the book compared to the movie, so if you want, go check that one out. And let me know what you thought if you've watched it. There are spoilers in it, so just be careful watching it. Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins. The Maid by Nita Prose. The Astonishing Color of After by Emily Exarpan. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This Close to Okay by Lisa Cross Smith. All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. This book made me cry and I loved it. I want to watch the Netflix adaptation to it and see what I think of that. The Beauty in Breaking by Michelle Harper. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. I enjoyed this book when I read it. I think I gave it like a 3-star, but I really want to reread it and go in, since I've read it once, and see what I think of a reread of it. Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. Let me know in the comments if I should read this book, because I've heard some mixed reviews about it and it's kind of put me off on reading it. So let me know what you think down below. I have Red, White, and Royal Blue and One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I have not read One Last Stop yet, but Red, White, and Royal Blue I absolutely loved and gave it 5 stars, and I am very excited to read One Last Stop. The Love Hypothesis by Allie Hazelwood. Atomic Love by Jenny Fields. What Comes After by Joanne Tompkins. Alright, and then we have Practical Magic, The Rules of Magic, Magic Lessons, and The Book of Magic, all by Alice Hoffman. So excited to read these, and I'm going to do it this October for Halloween. A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. Everything We Didn't Say by Nicole Barrett. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Alright, and then down here we have some books that just don't fit on my bookshelves, and we're going to go through those. The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, after the graphic novel by Anna Todd, Infinity by Sherilyn Kenya, Bird Box by Josh Mallerman. And we have this trilogy. We have Aragon, Eldest, and Brissinger, all by Christopher Paolini. The End and Other Beginnings by Veronica Roth. Girl of Paper and Fire and Girls of Storm and Shadow, both by Natasha Ning. And then Girls with Sharp Sticks and Girls with Razor Hearts, both by Suzanne Young. Then we have Diabolic and The Empress by S.J. Kincaid. Shatter Me, Unravel Me, Ignite Me, and Restore Me, all by Tahara Mafi. Illumine, Gemina, and Obsidio, all three by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. The Adoration of Jenna Fox by Mary E. Pearson. The 9 Lives of Chloe King by Liz Braswell. Cinder, Scarlet, Crest, Fairest, Stars Above, and Winter, all by Marissa Meyer. The Darkest Mind, Never Fade, and The Afterlight, all by Alexandra Bracken. Host by Stephanie Meyer. I read this years ago and absolutely loved it, and I enjoyed the movie also. Now moving on to my next bookshelf. Here it is laid out. All of these are the, what's this series? It's the Stephanie Plum novel series. So we have 1 for the Money, 2 for the Dough, 3 to Get Deadly, 4 to Score, High Five, Hot 6, 7 Up, Hard 8, To the Nines, 10 Big Ones, 11 on Top, 12 Sharp, Lean Mean 13, Fearless 14, Finger Lickin' 15, and then over here we have some classics. So we have Catcher in the Rye, The Outsiders, The Giver, and Sun. And coming down to this shelf, I can't really stand these books up, so I'm just going to go down the list for you. We have One of Us is Lying and One of Us is Next, both by Karen M. McManus. Such a good duology. Two Can Keep a Secret by Karen M. McManus, and You'll Be the Death of Me by Karen M. McManus. Then we have Hereafter. That's by Tara Hudson. And We Were Kings by Court Stevens. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, Good Girl, Bad Blood, and As Good as Dead. I have read the first 2 in this, and I still have not read this one, but I think I want to reread them all and do a reading vlog with it. But I really enjoyed the first 2, and they kind of shocked me each time. And then we have The Project by Courtney Summers, All These Bodies by Kendare Blake, Tuesdays with Maury by Mitch Albom. These ones over here are more memoirs or true stories, and biographies. Sorry Not Sorry by Naya Rivera, Talking as Fast as I Can by Lauren Graham, The Zookeeper's Wife by Diane Ackerman, The Glass Castle and Half Broken Horses by Jeanette Walls, All the Pretty Things by Eddie Wadsworth, Tweak Growing Up on Methamphetamines by Nick Sheff. And then over here, I can't really stand these up, so I'm just going to go through them. Waiting to Be Heard by Amanda Knox, My Story by Elizabeth Smart with Chris Stewart, No Easy Day by Mark Owen, No Hero, The Evolution of a Navy SEAL by Mark Owen with Kevin Moore, American Wife by Taya Kyle with Jim Deflis, and American Sniper by Chris Kyle. Down here is mostly my classic shelf, and I have a few on the sides here just because that's where those books fit. Cartel Wives, A True Story of Deadly Decisions, Steadfast Love, and Bringing Down El Chapo. My Friend Anna, The True Story of a Fake Heiress by Rachel Daylock Williams. Les Mis by Victor Hugo, which I love the movie, and this book is gorgeous. I have not read it yet, but it is huge. We have War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. Speak by Lori Haas Anderson. Love this book. Just got done reading it last month or the month before. Charlotte Bronte by Jane Eyre. Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. Little Women by Louise May Alcott. And then here's the whole series of Little Women. So we have Little Women, Good Wives, Little Men, and Joe's Boys, all by Louisa May Alcott. We have Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. And then I have the complete novels of Jane Austen in here. And this thing is gorgeous. And it's huge. And it was a gift. Both this and Les Mis were gifts from an online Facebook gifting group. Down here we have a lot of thrillers. So I'm going to go through them for you. The Silent Wife by Carrie Fisher. Devil in the White City by Eric Larson. Distant Shores by Kristen Hanna. Your Truth or Mine by Trisha Sakletka. I hope I'm saying that right. Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Ritual by Mo Hader. The Suicide House by Charlie Donlea. Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Catch Me by Lisa Gardner. Right Behind You by Lisa Gardner. A Husband's Secret by Leanne Moriarty. Salem's Lot and Do McKee, both by Stephen King. The Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor. The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. You by Caroline Kepnes. Red Sparrow by Jason Matthews. Lie to Me by J.T. Ellison. Our Game by David Baldacci. Night Sins by Tammy Hoag. A Simple Favor by Darcy Bell. Carrie by Stephen King. Final Girls by Riley Sager. I absolutely love this book, and especially if you like slasher films, and if you do, you know what a final girl is. It's the last person of a slasher film who is alive, and I just really enjoyed it, and it really did shock me at the end. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Girl Who Played with Fire, and The Girl in the Spider's Web, all three by David Lagerkrantz. And then we have this stack here. So we have The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. Sadie by Courtney Summers. I liked this book. I didn't love it, but I did listen to it on audio, and I think that made me enjoy it more. The Cuban Affair by Nelson DeMille. Twice Kissed by Lisa Jackson. Shake Off by Misha Hiller. And then down here we have some more thrillers. And some other ones that are just stuck in there because they fit. The Good Girl by Mary Kubica. Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. Paranoid by Lisa Jackson. Deadline by Randy Alcorn. The Murder List by Hank Philippi Ryan. The Last Flight by Julie Clark. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot by David Schaefer. The Darkening Field by William Ryan. A Stranger in the House by Sherry LaPena. In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. Samantha Moon by J.R. Rain. This actually has 4 novels in it. The Institute by Stephen King. The Shining by Stephen King. The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. When She Returned by Lucinda Barry. I enjoyed this book. This was a really good book. It's about a woman who disappeared 11 years ago, and basically she was brainwashed by her captor, and she comes back and a lot of stuff happens, and it was a crazy ride, but I really enjoyed this book. The Best of Friends by Lucinda Barry. This one is about a group of friends, and an accident happens with their sons, and they're trying to find out who did what, and I really enjoyed this one. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, but I think it's a gorgeous cover, and I would recommend it to anybody who's just getting into thrillers or mysteries. The Prophet by Michael Corita. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies by Jane Austen and Seth Graham-Smith. The Escape Room by Megan Golden. 9 Perfect Strangers by Leanne Moriarty. Saw Kill Girls by Claire Legrand. Suicide Notes from Beautiful Girls by Lynn Wenningarden. Dear Wife by Kimberly Bell. The Whisper Man by Alec North. The Sanatorium by Sarah Pierce. This Is Where It Ends by Marie Knidjekamp. This book is about a school shooting, and it's very good. I really enjoyed it when I read it, and it is definitely a YA book, but I can't stop raving about it, and I just cannot get rid of this book. I Killed Zoe Spanos by Kit Frick. A Study in Charlotte, The Last of August, and The Case for Jamie, all three by Brittany Cavallaro, and The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. And then down here on this bottom shelf, we have a lot of mystery, thriller, and horror. We have Desperation by Stephen King, Bag of Bones by Stephen King, Misery by Stephen King, The Chemist by Stephanie Meyer, Eyes Wide Open by Andrew Gross, The Marriage Pact by Michelle Richmond, Shelter in Place by Nora Roberts, Liar Liar by Lisa Jackson, The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins, India Gate by Lacey Fosber, Tell Me Lies by Carola Lovering, The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix, The Death List 5 by Paul Johnson, Little Secrets by Jennifer Hillier, Broken by Karen Slaughter, Let Me Die in His Footsteps by Lori Roy, The Cuckoo's Calling and The Silkworm, both by Robert Galbraith, The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt, Ace of Spades by Faraday Abike Iamidi. This book was amazing. I gave it 5 stars, and I definitely would reread it. It's a crazy YA thriller, and I would recommend it to any teenager who wants to look for a good thriller that keeps you guessing on what is going on. Don't Let Go by Harlan Coben, Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, Saint X by Alexis Shaintkin, Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas. This is my last big bookshelf that I have of books, and we're going to go through it right now. So right here we have all the Game of Thrones books. I am not getting all those out because there are a lot. We have Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, the Dune Trilogy by Frank Herbert, Blood Heir by Emile Wenzeo, Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth, Cursed by Frank Miller and Thomas Wheeler, Lore by Alexander Bracken, and Realm Breaker by Victoria Aveyard. I have I Like Him, He Likes Her. It's Not Like I Planned It This Way, Please Don't Be True, You and Me and the Space in Between, and Now I'll Tell You Everything, all by Phyllis Reynolds Naylor. Down here we have my Sarah J. Maas shelf. I absolutely love it. I am currently reading Queen of Shadows in the Throne of Glass series, but I have read all of these ones that I'm going to point out to you first. Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood, House of Sky and Breath, A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, A Court of Frost and Starlight, and A Court of Silver Flames. And then over here, The Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and Heir of Fire. And then the ones I haven't read, which is missing here, which is Queen of Shadow, Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash. Of course, all of them are by the Queen, Sarah J. Maas. This shelf right here is a bunch of series, a lot of fantasy series that I have. From Blood and Ash, Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, and The Crowns of Gilded Bones, all by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I have not read these yet, but I'm hoping to in the next couple of months. I do want to read them before the end of this year. Next, we have the Selection series. So we have The Selection, The Elite, The One, The Heir, and The Crown, all by Kira Cass. I have read all of them except the last one. I listened to them on audio, and they were pretty good. I mean, they're your typical YA dystopian romance books. The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman, Beastly by Alex Finn, Wings by April Lynn Pike, A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray, The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter, European Travel for the Monstrous Gentlewoman, and The Sinister Mystery of the Mesmerizing Girl, all three by Theodora Goss, and I am hoping to read these before the end of the year. And then we have A Darker Shade of Magic, A Gathering of Shadows, and A Conjuring of Light, all three by V.E. Schwab. I am currently, right now I'm not reading it, but I am part of the way through A Gathering of Shadows. It's just the book is so slow, and I liked the first one a lot, and I heard the third one is really good too, but the second one is just taking me forever to read. And then we have The Raven Boys and Blue Lily, Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. This book I got from a book box, and it is A Dragon Bird in the Fern by Laura Ruckert. I have Summer on East End by Melissa De La Cruz. This has 2 books in it, which is Triple Moon and Double Eclipse. This is a YA witch book. This is The Modern Fairy Tales by Holly Black, and it has the 3 books, Tithe, Valiant, and Ironside in it. The Forbidden Wish by Jessica Corey, and this is an Aladdin retelling. The Wrath in the Dawn by Renee Audier. The next shelf is my wonderful Cassandra Clare shelf, and this section right here has all the Mortal Instrument books in it, and I'm not going to take them all out because that would take forever, and they fit perfectly in there, and I don't want them to fall over. The Shadowhunter Codex by Cassandra Clare and Joshua Lewis. Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. These are the Infernal Devices series, and I really enjoyed them. Ghosts of the Shadow Market. This is a novella. It is by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, Maureen Johnson, Kelly Link, and Robin Wasserman. And right here are all the Dark Artifices trilogy, and I'm not going to take all those out, but I've read those also. And the last book just seemed really, really long, but the first 2 I did enjoy. And then we have The Red Scrolls of Magic and The Lost Book of the White by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. This is the Eldest Curses duology. Chain of Gold, and then behind it is Chain of Iron, both by Cassandra Clare. This is part of the Last Hours trilogy. I'm waiting for the last book to come out, and I really did enjoy that trilogy, that series so far. The Bane Chronicles and Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, and Maureen Johnson. And these ones weren't my favorite, but they did bring all the books together if you read them in publication order. Slay by Brittany Morris. Down here we have more series that I have read or want to read. We have The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay, all 3 by Suzanne Collins. And I really enjoyed these books. I did read A Ballad of Songbird and Snakes and ended up unhauling it because I just did not like it. And then we have Evermore, Blue Moon, Shadowland, and Night Star, all by Alison Noel, and this is the Immortals series. And then we have Red Queen, Glass Sword, King's Cage, and Warstorm, all by Victoria Aveyard. I have not read this series yet, but am planning on to soon. Heartless by Marissa Meyer. Debutantes and Daggers by Rachel Hawkins. This includes Rebel Belle and Miss Mayhem. The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. Reverie by Ryan La Sala. Diary of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I started this and then never finished it, but I'm hoping to start it back up this year. The Crave series. So we have Crave, Crush, Covet, and Court, all by Tracy Wolff. I've read the first 3 and really enjoyed them, and I just have not read the 4th book yet, and the 5th book I think comes out this fall. But if you enjoyed the Twilight series, I think this is better than that. We're going to start with the Book of the Month books I just got this month, and that is Book of Night by Holly Black, Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, and Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. And then we have Wicked Saints, Ruthless Gods, and Blessed Monsters by Emily A. Duncan. And right here is back here is my Caraval series, and then I have Once Upon a Broken Heart, all by Stephanie Garber. The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake. Enchante by Gita Tralesi. Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares, both by Laini Taylor. Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. Kingdom of the Wicked and Kingdom of the Cursed by Carrie Maniscalco. I love these books and cannot wait for I think it's the last and final book to come out to wrap up this trilogy and see what happens. But the first one's a little slow, but the second one is really, really, really good. And then there's Stalking Jack the Ripper, Hunting Prince Dracula, Escape Escaping from Houdini and Capturing the Devil, all by Carrie Maniscalco also. And I am really looking forward to starting this series and reading it to find out what I think of it. I've heard mixed reviews about it, but I am, like I said, excited. There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. Wings of Ebony by J.L. And then Fallen, Passion, and Fallen in Love by Lauren Kate. I have not read this series yet, but I want to get all the books before I read it. And this one is a novella to the series. And then we have my bottom shelf, which is packed full of books. The Chaos of Standing Still by Jessica Brody. The 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. The Next Person You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. Oxy by Jennifer Matthew. I saw the movie and read this book, and I've enjoyed both of them and see the difference in them, but they are so good. Heretics Anonymous by Katie Henry. I enjoyed this book and would read it again in the future. The Endless Skies by Shannon Price. Perfect Liars by Amanda K. Morgan. The Walled City by Ryan Groudon. I enjoyed this one, and I'm hoping to reread it probably more next year. When Dimple Met Rishi. The Duff by Cody Keplinger. If I Stay, Where She Went, both by Gail Foreman. Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl by Jesse Andrew. Dear Edward by Anne Napolitano. And I enjoyed this book. I annotated it a lot, and it was gifted to me, and I just devoured this book. Snakewood by Adrian Selby. Darkwood by M.E. Breen. Teardrop by Lauren Kate. The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. Modern Lovers by Emma Straub. The Princess and the Fangirl by Ashley Poston. The Burning by Laura Bates. Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis. We Hunt the Flame and We Free the Stars by Hafsa Faisal. Carry On, Wayward Son, and Any Way the Wind Blows by Rainbow Rowell. Down Comes the Night by Allison Saft. The Cruel Prince, Wicked King, and the Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. Children of Blood and Bone and Children of Virtue and Vengeance, both by Tommy Adeyemi. Dark Tarot by Christine Feehan. Frostblood and Fireblood, both by Ellie Blake. Ash Princess by Laura Sebastian. Fire Becomes Her by Rosie Thor. Hearts, Strings, and Other Breakable Things by Jacqueline Firkins. The Summer We Read Gatsby by Danielle Gannick. The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. Stained by Cheryl Rainfeld. The Betrayal by Lauren Kate. Stolen by Lucy Christopher. My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry by Frederick Bachman. Before, After, and Somebody in Between by Janine Garcia. Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. Hello Girls by Brittany Cavallaro and Emily Henry. We Are the Wildcats by Siobhan Vivian. Take Me Home Tonight by Morgan Matson. Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, both by Lee Bardugo. I really love these books, and they were amazing. They have heist in them, and it is along the lines of the Grishaverse, but I did not like the Shadow and Bone trilogy, but I really enjoyed these and decided to keep these. These 4 books are Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner is Life and Death, Breaking Dawn, and Midnight Sun. All of those are by Stephanie Meyer. Over here, I have some stack of books that I want to get read, and those are The Uncoupling by Meg Wolitzer, Beautiful Creatures by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll, Fear Collector by Greg Olson, Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas, Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab, Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, Year of the Wicked by Jeff Moriot, Ever Have I Ever by Jocelyn Jackson, We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, and then After Ever Happy by Anna Todd. These are kind of like my TBR books that I want to get read this year. And so I'm not going to take them all out, but I will tell you what they are. So we have Tell Me Everything, the story of a private investigation by Erica Krause. The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Haro. The Gilded Wolves by Roshni Chokshi. Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The Unraveling of Cassidy Holmes by Alyssa R. Sloan. Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. Bridgerton, The Duke and I by Julia Quinn. Billy Summers by Stephen King. The Vampire Chronicles Collection by Anne Rice. An Ember in the Ashes, Torch Against the Night, A Reaper at the Gates, and Sky Beneath the Storm, all by Saba Tahir. Book Lovers by Emily Henry, which I just bought. Hush Hush, Crescendo, Silence, all by Becca Fitzpatrick. The Young Elites, The Rose Society, The Midnight Star, all by Marie Lu. All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. And I Darken, Now I Rise, Bright We Burn, all by Kirsten White. Incendiary and Illusionary by Zoraida Cordova. The Autobiography of Jack the Ripper by James Carnac. Restless Souls, the Sharon Tate story by Alyssa Stateman and with Bree Tate. Prozac Nation by Elizabeth Wurtzel. Yes Please by Amy Poehler. Baby Teeth by Zoe Stage. King of Scars and Rule of Wolves by Lee Bardugo. Love and Other Disasters by Anita Kelly. Firekeeper's Daughter, Angeline Bully. Pieces of Her by Karen Slaughter. Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon. The Dating Plan by Sarah Desai. The Fifth Wave, The Infinite Sea, and The Last Star, all by Rick Yancey. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. The Program, The Treatment, The Remedy, The Epidemic, and The Complication, all by Suzanne Young. Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. I recently just got this one also. The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, The Evolution of Mara Dyer, The Becoming of Noah Shaw, and The Reckoning of Noah Shaw, all by Michelle Hodkin. Girl Made of Stars by Ashley Herring Blake. The Book Thief by Mark Suzak. The Summer I Turned Pretty, It's Not Summer Without You, and We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. Girl from Nowhere by Tiffany Rosenhan. Rules for Being a Girl by Candace Bushnell and Katie Codugno. The Pact by Jodi Picoult. Hold Still by Nina LaCour. The Secret Circle, The Divide. The Secret Circle, The Hunt. The Secret Circle, The Temptation, all by L.J. Smith. Permanent Record and Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. A Discovery of Witches, Shadow of Night, and The Book of Life, all by Deborah Harkness. Long Walk to Water by Linda Sue Park. Beautiful Darkness, Beautiful Chaos, and Beautiful Redemption, all by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. Hopeless and Confess by Colleen Hoover. The First Phone Call from Heaven by Mitch Albom. Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. A Heart in a Body in the World by Deb Coletti. Dear Evan Hansen by Val Emmich. The Inheritance Game and The Hawthorne Legacy, both by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And The Secret Life of Marilyn Monroe by J. Randy Taraborelli. And then right here we have my books up in my room. But we have Shadow Rider, Judgment Road, Vengeance Road, and Vendetta Road, all by Christine Feehan. Night Play by Sherilyn Kenya. Fantasy Lover by Sherilyn Kenya. Archeron by Sherilyn Kenya. And Night Pleasures by Sherilyn Kenya. Right behind here is my After series. Then we have Handle with Care by Marie Hart. Then we have my 50 Shades of Grey trilogy. And then we have Bared to You, Reflected in You, and Entwined with You, all by Sylvia Day. Then we have Lover Unveiled Lover Unleashed, Lover Mine, and Lover Avenged, all by J.A. Ward. Down here is probably my favorite shelf that is up here, and that is because it is more of my romance section of authors that I love. So we have It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover, Autobiography by Christina Lauren, Beautiful Stranger by Christina Lauren, In a Holidays by Christina Lauren, Twice in a Blue Moon by Christina Lauren, The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, and then we have All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover, Regretting You by Colleen Hoover, Verity by Colleen Hoover, and Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. And then over here we have Beautiful Disasters by Jamie McGuire and A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. And down here we just have some random books. We have Renegade by Laura Lee, One Night Denied by Jodi Ellen Malpass, Mad About the Duke by Elizabeth Boyle, Rosamund by Beatrice Small, and A Dangerous Love by Beatrice Small. That is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed my bookshelf tour and seeing all the books that I own. If you like this video, hit that like button down below. And if you want to know when I'm posting next time, hit that subscribe and that notification bell and you will be the first to know. And until next time, keep on reading, people. Bye!